baby. Oh yeah, nobody with this guy. Frank White. One of those names you've just never heard before in the music business. Here he is. We'll talk about him a little bit. Yeah, rock out. Alright. I'll put the mute switch on Frank there for a minute. Frank the Tank. Alright, Frank, take a nap, buddy. Alright, so what do we got here? Yeah. Alright, so sporting this shirt from my Summer Fashion 2024 collection. First annual Vinyl Community Meetup. I'm your host, MGK Boston. Mike, some people call me Mike. Call me MGK. Just call me your friend. And here we are at the Utica Club, calling this meeting to order here. Only 2 people in the club today as usual. It's myself here in Colton. He's just hanging out. Yeah, enjoying this. The first beer sold after Prohibition, right? Great marketing. Speaking of marketing, last week I mentioned a friend of mine, Mike from my work. He's a great guy. He's taking a much needed vacation, Mike is. He's on his way down to Florida with his wife, Kristen, and their family. And so that'd be a fun ride down there in Florida with Mike and hanging out on the beach. I don't think they're going to have any of this dip down there, though, Mike. So Mike was the inspiration to my bison chip dip review last Friday. Great dip, Mike. High end. Love it. Yeah, I'd like to buy a whole gallon pail of that. So anyway, speaking of chips, these are some chips from Ontario. We were just up there. Chips are my favorite snack. So I'm doing these chip reviews every week, but what the hell, right? This is bilingual chips. They're French and English, en français. Bonjour, Olivier, my friend Olivier over at Vinyl Montreal. I bet you he likes chips, and he's probably had these chips. They're all dressed, very popular flavor in Canada. And as the marketing goes on the back here, these are seasoned to the max for extreme snacking satisfaction. These delicious rippled chips are loaded with flavor and pack a mighty tasty crunch. I think my friend Mike is in marketing for the company that makes these chips, and he's going up there to Ontario and doing marketing stuff. When he's not doing Mike stuff. So here's what all dressed chips. None for you, Colton. Yeah. Right here. Flavor. That is some flavor, big time. Yeah. And speaking of shirts, shout out to the North American King of Shirts. That's my friend Dave from work. He gave Colton his laser. Oh, there he is. Now he's doing it, Dave. You doing it, Colton? Yeah, see? That's the way cats are, all right? They don't, no entertaining on command, right? Colton will play with it later on. Of course, anyway, Dave, he really likes it, so thanks for that, man. Anyway, speaking of other cool people, Steve over in Chicagoland, soon to be Arizona land. He's moving. Gotta wash down that all-dressed chip. Mike was fascinated that I only had 1 chip when I did that review last week, but I couldn't sit here and eat a bag of chips and talk at the same time. So I had the chips after. So Steve, over at A is for Alice, B is for Bob, C is for Chicagoland, where he's currently residing. He got me some stuff here, it looks like. It's in this envelope. Colton, it's not for you, buddy. Colton, you can have the envelope. Eat some paper, bud. There you go. He's after it. He says, thanks for the paper, Steve. He likes packaging. He eats it. Oh. Well, there was a note in here. Oh, yeah. So, Steve was in the printing business. Pretty creative guy. So he gave me these cards. These would have been good in Boston, the way some people drive and park. You park like a dick. So Steve's got these cards. So if someone pisses you off, like they park too close, whatever they're doing, I can leave one of these under the windshield wiper. That's classic stuff. You park like a dick. I love it. Thank you for that, Steve. Very thoughtful. And he knows I collect fridge magnets, like postcards. So cool Grateful Dead. That's an album cover right there. So Wake of the Flood. Yeah, that album right there. So right there. Cool fridge magnet. I dig it. Thank you, Steve, for that. A is for Alice, B is for Bob. C is for Chicago or Colton, whatever. Or chips. C is for chips. One more. You bark like a dick. That's awesome. So anyway, what else is going on here? Oh, yeah. Another plug here for my friends. I was over there last Saturday. I was there with Randy, another guy I work with. God, I'm working with a cool group. I keep giving all these shout outs. It's all people I work with. Whoa, Colton. Anyway, Randy and I were over at Revolver. We just were buying some used stuff. This is record store day weekend this weekend. No, Colton, buddy. And so anyway, gonna head on over there tomorrow. I'm really not looking for a whole lot or a lot looking to spend because I bought a ton of records since we moved to Buffalo. And space, it's starting to get a little wild here in the apartment. And, you know, I don't think that's fair to Patty because I'm a good guy. So I don't want this to take over the room here. But anyway, we got a house soon. We'll be moving in the summer. And I can set up my stuff. And yeah, Colton will be running around doing stuff too. So anyway, when I was with Randy, we filmed a video last Saturday. And I'll put a link to that below if you haven't seen it. Randy's going to be starting a channel. He's going to call it the Lion's Den, Lyin''S, not the lion like roar like Colton, Lion's Den. So yeah, anyway, a lot of positive feedback, and I told him that on Monday. But you know, when you're starting a channel, some people are hesitant. So anyway, just keep giving Randy the positive vibes because he does watch my videos, and yeah, just give Randy a shout out, man. Anyway, so yeah, so I bought some stuff when I was out there with Randy. So anyway, I got this. A lot of stuff that I did not know that I just picked up because these were all on the cheap. These are all $5 records or less, but all in excellent condition per Revolver standards. So anyway, this guy, Tony Carey, ex-keyboard player for this band. He was with Rainbow pretty much from Rising right up, I think, till 1979. Of course, like I said, played keyboards. Turns out the guy can sing too, so this is a solo album. Well, he ended up moving to Germany from the States, and he recorded a bunch of records over there. This was the only one that was sort of a hit. The one tune on here called A Fine, Fine Day. That was a big MTV hit right here. So I just call this kind of really, excuse me, chips. Need a cigarette. Anyway, I'm making a menthol. So Tony Carey here, Some Tough City, the name of this one, from 1984. Actually, yeah, you can see right here, it was recorded in West Germany. So anyway, there he is on the front. And this is a still, I think, from one of the music videos. I think actually from A Fine, Fine Day right there. So anyway, really good singer, great keyboard player. And if you think about like this era of Rainbow with Joe Lynn Turner, the instrumentation of this, and then, you know, a song like Stone Cold, which is not on this album. Yes, it is on this album, track 2. The instrumentation on this is very similar to this. And he plays all the instruments really for the most part on here. I think everything except drums. Colton's just getting after this. Colton, geez, man. Oh, he's getting after this. He's sponsored by Smarty Cat, and he knows it. Shout out to Don, the old goat. Right, Don? Pac-Man. Smarty Cat. Get over here, you Smarty Cat. There you go, buddy. Whoa, all right. God, got my finger. Savage, Colton. You're absolutely savage. Here you go, buddy. Yeah. Anyway, that's so anyway, yeah, the 2 tracks on here, really good. Opening up here, A Fine, Fine Day, like I said, the single, and A Lonely Life is actually really good too. Tinseltown, I mean, this is really good. The guy's a good singer, and it kind of sounds like early 80s Rainbow. So anyway, check it out. That's Tony Carey, Some Tough City. So this one, total blind buy. I bought it. I looked at the cover. It was in this kind of new wave section, 80s. This is 1986. And this label out of New York City, never heard of it before, called Public Records. It almost looks a little like the Public Enemy logo there when you look at it with the star. But anyway, this band called Cargo Cult, and it's called Concrete Island. This is kind of like the instrumentation on this. I've listened to it twice. First time I was like, oh, I don't know. That was like last Sunday. Then I came home today and I threw it on my half-day Fridays. And it kind of has a Talking Heads instrumentation a bit in the background vibe, and I'm not a huge Talking Heads guy, but that kind of collides with the vocals, which is kind of like what was it, Dave Wakeling from English Beat. The singer's kind of sounds like that, and it's kind of got an English Beat, general public vibe to it actually too, when I think about it. So Vanishing Point was the first song on this. Speech Impediments got kind of funny lyrics, and yeah, it's just a blind buy, $3. I'm going to keep it because Actually, on the second listen, it was really, really listenable. Right there you go. There's that Public Records logo there on the label. So, do not know anything about that band. Probably the only person I could think of in the vinyl community that may possibly know it is Embryonic Brian. He might know this band, Cargo Cult, and this record. They only did one. I tried to look up on the interwebs, and all I could find was they were basically from New York City, and they did this one-off album, and that's it. There was nothing on allmusic.com, nothing on Wikipedia, really nothing at all. So anyway, if anybody knows it, chime in. All right. Little honky-tonk action for Gary over at Physical Format Country. Just the Jerry Lee Lewis collection. I've got a bunch of Jerry Lee Lewis all in storage, but for $3, and I didn't have any here in the apartment records. And this is just a nice collection in really good condition. Of course, great cover here, me and Bobby McGee. This is, of course, Jerry Lee Lewis, all his country era, Sweet George Brown, Think About It, Darling, Chantilly Lace, one of his big hits, Boogie Woogie Countryman, too. And the years on this, I think this goes from about 1971 to 1975, or 76, actually. Closest thing to use a real good one, too, on here. So there's Jerry Lee, the Killer, knocking it out right there with that one. He was on a long time on the Mercury label. Yeah, always loved that logo. There, Mercury. So yeah, the Killer, getting her down right there. Nice best of. They have an excellent vintage country and western section at Revolver on the second floor. I know Jack at the Vinyl Martini, he's going to be all over it, big time. And I was all over this too. Here's another one. I have a bunch of his stuff too, but I was like, hey, for $3, the original price, I got it for less than the original price. It's still in the shrink, $367. And of course, though, graded here at Revolver, it's mint, and it is mint. Plays great. This is just a nice collection of Charlie Rich's love songs, ballads, and he's just got a silky voice, man, just incredible. He's got a great head of hair too. There he is on the back, having a dart right there, just loosening up the lungs. It helps sing those slow ballads. You have a smoke, nicotine, open those lungs up. My doctor says I'm not getting enough tar, so go unfiltered, right? There he is. So singing those ballads, knocking it out, just like the Killer. Yeah, so anyway, what else we got in here? I think this is on one of those. No, I was going to say a budget label. It's actually on Epic, and that was his label right there. And it's very special love songs, and they are special, right? So anyway, yeah, I got to get over here and talk about Frank White before we go. Save the best for last, as they say, right? Get in there, Charlie. Yeah, there you go, buddy. Gotta replace that paper sleeve. How annoying. All right, so this guy, incoming, Frank White. There's his band, 4-piece band. This is recorded live in the studio in England. This guy originally from Sheffield, England. Played through the 60s with a couple of notable people. Carl Perkins, he played with him. Albert Lee played with him. And as the story goes, this is another one I had a hard time finding out a lot of information on. But that double neck electric guitar, first one ever sold in Europe. Only second to Jimmy Page got his after Frank White. Frank White was quite well known to the Rolling Stones. Eric Clapton was an admirer of his work. He was a really good axe man. But then he only did this one album in 1973 and faded into obscurity. He didn't go and die in a ditch or anything like that. He went the other way. He became a born-again Christian, got married, raised a family. Apparently he just died a couple of years ago, actually. So he went low profile after this, and that's too bad because this is a really solid record. You heard that opening cut, Nobody, with that, the backup singers. It sounds like an Eric Clapton, a really good Eric Clapton solo album is what this sounds like. Even his voice actually sounds like Clapton singing to a certain degree. Oh, there, Colton's getting after the laser, Dave. Oh, there he goes. Anyway, Colton. So anyway, Frank White, this is just a really solid record. This was the most expensive record of the day. It was $6. And it's just another one of those blind buys that I got lucky. I looked at it, looked like a cool cover. Look at that, he's got the bell-bottom blues right there, those pants. He's in the studio, and he's getting ready to kick out some Frank White stuff. This is mostly covers on here, actually, though. No Money Down, that's a Chuck Berry song. Not Fade Away. Yeah, it's just, anyway. And Blue Moon of Kentucky does a really good version of that one, too. That's a great track. Great cover here by Frank White. So yeah, that's going to do it for Friday Cheers. Could be sponsored by Bison Dip anytime now. Yeah, great. Steve A is for Alice. Get over and check out his channel. I'll leave a link to that. I got to adjust my high-end tripod there. So cheers to you on a Friday from the Utica Club, from Colton and myself. Peace be with you, and we'll see you in the next video.